Tonight's dinner was another really easy one and really delicious one. I'm starting off with the sides, so to a sheet pan, I melted that garlic and herb butter and just spread it on there. Then top that with a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese, and then take these little yellow potatoes, cut those in half, and then place them in the butter and Parmesan. Then I'm taking some fresh broccoli and putting them on the other side of that sheet pan. Spray that broccoli with just a little oil and then toss it up with whatever seasonings that you want. Bake that at 425 for 20 to 25 minutes. And now we're making some cheddar ranch pork chops. First to one bowl, you're going to add some ranch dressing. Then to another bowl, you're going to add some breadcrumbs. I am trying these out today just to see how they are. They are a little salty, just a heads up. So if you want, just add normal breadcrumbs. Then I added some ranch seasoning to that and some Slapper Mama seasoning. Then you're going to grab some thinly cut pork chops. Dip those in your ranch and then your breadcrumb mixture. Just press it in, just a nice light coat. And those breadcrumbs went really fast, so we're adding a different kind this time and seeing which one we like better. Lay those on a greased baking pan and then spray the tops with oil. Bake these at 425 for 15 to 20 minutes until a little crispy. While that's all baking, you're going to shred up some cheddar cheese. And you won't use all this. I'm just going to shred all of it up now. Then when those pork chops come out of the oven, you're going to top it with your cheddar cheese. Place this back in the oven on broil for 1 to 2 minutes. Once that broccoli and potatoes come out of the oven, let those cool for at least 5 minutes before trying to grab them. I then topped my pork chops with a little bit of bacon too. This dinner was so delicious. I highly recommend. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Ever since I started making this a month or so ago, it has been in our rotation every week. If you haven't given it a try yet, I highly recommend. First, get your pot of water boiling for your pasta. Then you're going to start cooking 1.5 pounds of ground beef. Once that ground beef is cooked, you're going to drain all that grease. And then once that water starts boiling, you're going to start cooking that angel hair pasta. I'm doing a little less than a pound this time, and you can always change the kind of pasta here too. And now back to that ground beef, you're going to add about 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning, 1 packet of au jus gravy mix, then just toss this around. And then I'm adding 2 cups of unsalted beef broth. Usually I just add about 1.5, but this time I wanted it a little bit saucier. Mix that up really good, and now you're going to add about 1/4 of a cup of the peppercini juice, and then you can add as many pepperoncinis as you want to this. And this is not a real spicy dish or anything, it's just kind of tangy. Once that pasta is finally done cooking, you're going to drain that and you're going to add it to that meat mixture. Just toss that up really well. This dinner is so easy and quick, and it is amazing. It really doesn't need anything added to this. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight, I'm making an amazing dinner that my family loves. We're making a pizza pot pie, and it is absolutely delicious. I'm starting off by cooking a pound of Italian sausage. And while that's cooking, I'm going to make the Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit dough. Just make that as your package directions say, and then set it aside. And now you're going to go back to that Italian sausage, and you can really add whatever you want in here, anything that you would like on your pizza. So we are adding those mini pepperonis, and I'm just toasting them up a little bit. And then I'm adding some traditional pasta sauce to mine. And I left about 1/4 of that sauce in the jar. Then just add all your toppings in. We're going with black olives, the real bacon pieces. Then I'm adding around a cup of cheese. I'm just doing Colby Jack because I already had it shredded up, but usually I would use mozzarella. Once that all is mixed up, you're going to grab a pie pan and then empty that filling right into it. Then grab that Cheddar Bay biscuit dough, and I'm just putting little spoonfuls all over it until it is completely covered. You're going to bake this at 400 degrees for 25 minutes covered, and then you're going to take the cover off for another 25 minutes or so until everything is golden and cooked through. When that's about done baking, you're going to make that little garlic butter packet that your Cheddar Bay biscuit dough came with, and then right when it comes out, you're going to spread that all over the top. We just served this in some bowls, and everybody devours it. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight's dinner is a really easy 1-pan cheesesteak pasta. First, I'm taking this little package of steaks and then just putting a little oil on those, and then some steak seasoning. Cook those at a medium to high temperature for 2 minutes on each side, and then remove them from the pan and just let them rest. And now to that same pan, you're going to add 1/2 stick of butter, and then once that melts, you're going to add 2 diced bell peppers and then 1 diced onion. Cook that until those onions are translucent and the peppers are a little softer. And now to that same pan, you're going to add your beef broth. I'm doing this whole carton of beef broth, which is 4 cups. You're going to set that heat to high here and add 1 pound of whatever kind of pasta you want. You can season this up however you want. I'm adding a little bit more steak seasoning to mine. Then you're going to let this boil for like 8 to 10 minutes until the liquid has been absorbed. Then you're going to lower that heat some and add 1 cup of heavy cream. And then I'm adding some sliced provolone cheese. I ended up adding about 1/2 pound. And I did cover mine for like a minute or so just so it can melt a little better. And then once that is all melted, you're just going to stir it up until smooth. And now take that steak from earlier and then slice it as thinly as you can and then put it right on top. This easy cheesesteak pasta was so good and a really big hit with my family. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Let's make a really easy dinner tonight. First, I'm taking 2 of these packages of little steaks and just putting a little oil and then salt and pepper on them. Grab a skillet and put it to hot heat. Now I'm adding a touch of oil to that too, and then cooking them 2 minutes per side. We are going for a medium rare. And then I'm taking that garlic butter, just putting a couple tablespoons of that in at the end, and then setting that aside. Then you're gonna add the rest of that butter to the pan, and then I'm adding a splash of chicken broth right now, just to deglaze it some. Now I'm adding a package of these frozen tortellini, and then throwing those in and then just tossing them up until everything's coated. Then you're gonna add more chicken broth until it's about halfway up each of the tortellini, and just toss it around until they're done cooking, which will only take like 3 minutes. Then I added around a half of a cup of heavy cream, and then around 1.5 cups of shredded Parmesan cheese, but you can do as much as you want. My sauce wasn't as thick as I wanted it to be, so I added 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with water and then mix that in to make it nice and thick. Then I'm just slicing up those steaks nice and thin and putting it on top of the pasta. This dinner was so delicious. I hope you guys give it a try. Today I made me and Lena's favorite dip. This stuffed mushroom dip is truly the best. First, you're going to start cooking those mushrooms. I'm doing around 16 ounces and just kind of roughly chop those. And I'm cooking mine in some butter. Then to a separate bowl, I'm adding this garlic and herb cream cheese, about a half of a cup of sour cream, and then a cup of freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. And usually I just use a regular block of cream cheese and just add some garlic and herb seasoning, so whatever is fine there. You're just going to mix this up really well, and then once those mushrooms are almost done, you're going to add a little bit of garlic to those as well and cook a few more minutes. Then add those mushrooms to that dip mixture and then mix it up really well. And I have added Italian sausage to this dip too. It is so good either way. Now grab an 8x8 baking pan and then spread that dip mixture in there and smooth it out. And then to a separate bowl, you're going to add around a half of a cup of Italian style panko breadcrumbs, and then a few tablespoons of some shredded Parmesan cheese. Just sprinkle that all over the top. Then drizzle on a couple tablespoons of melted butter. Bake that at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes until the top gets a little golden, and then enjoy. Me and Lena ate this within like an hour. Tonight we're making a really easy dinner that my family loves. First up, I'm sauteing an onion in some butter. While that cooks, I'm adding everything else to my crock pot. I'm doing a bag of those frozen meatballs, this whole carton of beef broth, 2 packets of brown gravy mix, a couple teaspoons or so of some Worcestershire sauce, and then we are adding mushrooms to ours. Alina is obsessed with mushrooms. You can skip the mushrooms and you can even skip the onion if you want to. So whenever my onions are about done, I am adding a couple tablespoons of minced garlic to that. Now you're going to add that to your crock pot as well. Just mix it up and then cook that on high 3 to 4 hours or low 5 to 6 hours. And with this, we are making my favorite mashed potatoes. So it's about 5 pounds of potatoes. Peel those, chop those up just like you would normally make potatoes, and then you're going to boil those until tender. Drain that water, and now you're going to add everything in. So I'm doing 1 block of softened cream cheese, 1 cup of sour cream, a couple tablespoons of butter, and then you can season it however you want. I'm doing some garlic powder and then some pepper. Now you're just going to mash these up. I am just using my electric mixer. It's way easier. Just mash those up until everything is nice and creamy and combined. Then grab a 9x13 pan and you're going to butter this really well. Then sprinkle some grated Parmesan cheese all over that. And now you're going to add those mashed potatoes in. I love this one because you can make this ahead of time and then bake it later. Just spread those potatoes out and you're going to sprinkle it again with some grated Parmesan cheese, and then top it with a little butter. Bake those at 350 degrees until golden at the top. To make my gravy thicker, I'm adding a cornstarch slurry to mine. I did 3 tablespoons of cornstarch with 3 tablespoons of water, added that in and waited 30 minutes. It was nice and thick. Then once everything was finally finished cooking, I added those mashed potatoes to my plate and then topped it with those meatballs and that gravy. This one is absolutely amazing. I really hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Today for lunch, I made these really easy and delicious baked chicken wraps. First, to a bowl, I added 2 cups of cooked and shredded chicken. You can just use a rotisserie chicken. That's what I did. Then I added some chive and onion cream cheese, and you could just use regular if you want. About a half of a cup of bacon crumbles. And then I'm doing around 3/4 to a cup of shredded cheese, and you can use whatever here too. I'm just doing Colby Jack. Season it up however you want. I'm doing the garlic and herb seasoning and the rotisserie chicken seasoning. Now you're just going to take some tortillas and spread maybe 1/4 of a cup or so on each, and then just roll it up just like this. And then you're going to grab a baking pan, and I'm spraying mine with just a little bit of oil, and you're going to lay those seam side down in that baking pan. And that filling ended up making 8 of those. Then you're going to take a few tablespoons of butter, go ahead and melt that in your microwave, and add some garlic and herb seasoning to that, and then spread it over each one. You're going to bake these in the oven at 375 degrees for 15 to 20 minutes until they're just a little crispy. These were so simple and delicious. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. I made another delicious and easy dinner tonight. First, I grabbed 3 really large chicken breasts, and then I just split mine in half horizontally to make them thin. Then I am seasoning mine with some garlic and herb seasoning on both sides. Now you're gonna grab 2 bowls, and in one bowl you're gonna put some Caesar dressing in there. I'm doing around 1 cup for now, and then some Italian style breadcrumbs in the other one. Then you're gonna grab a large sheet pan, line it with some parchment paper, and then spray with some oil. And now you're just dipping that chicken in that Caesar dressing and in the breadcrumb mixture. Just make sure not to put too much of the dressing on. You just want a nice thin layer and then a thin layer of the breadcrumbs. And now you're going to spray the top of that chicken with some oil as well. Bake these in your oven at 425 degrees for 25 minutes. And while that is baking, you're just going to get your Caesar salad ready for whenever that chicken gets done. I just got a Caesar salad kit from the store. And now right whenever that chicken comes out of the oven, you're going to take some Parmesan cheese and then freshly shred that right over the top. Then place it back in the oven just for a minute or so until that cheese is nice and melted. And you're also going to toast some buns in your oven. And now you're ready to assemble those chicken Caesar salad sandwiches. These sandwiches are really easy to make and they taste so amazing. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Let's make a really easy dinner tonight. First, I'm taking 2 of these packages of little steaks and just putting a little oil and then salt and pepper on them. Grab a skillet and put it to hot heat. Now I'm adding a touch of oil to that too, and then cooking them 2 minutes per side. We are going for a medium rare. And then I'm taking that garlic butter, just putting a couple tablespoons of that in at the end, and then setting that aside. Then you're gonna add the rest of that butter to the pan, and then I'm adding a splash of chicken broth right now just to deglaze it. So now I'm adding a package of these frozen tortellini and then throwing those in and then just tossing them up until everything's coated. Then you're gonna add more chicken broth until it's about halfway up each of the tortellini and just toss it around until they're done cooking, which will only take like 3 minutes. Then I added around a half of a cup of heavy cream and then around 1.5 cups of shredded Parmesan cheese, but you can do as much as you want. My sauce wasn't as thick as I wanted it to be, so I added 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with water and then mixed that in to make it nice and thick. Then I'm just slicing up those steaks nice and thin and putting it on top of the pasta. This dinner was so delicious. I hope you guys give it a try. Let's make a delicious dinner. First, grab 12 ounces of bacon, and then you're going to chop this up. Add that to a skillet at a medium to low temperature. While that's cooking, we're going to start our chicken. Grab whatever kind of seasoning that you'd like to season your chicken with. I'm using this one. And then it's about 1.5 pounds of chicken cubed into bite-sized pieces. Season that well, and then you're gonna add about a tablespoon of cornstarch to this and then mix it up really well and just set it aside for now. Then grab some russet potatoes, and I'm doing about 3 pounds of those, and you are gonna chop those up into very small cubes like this. You're gonna fill that bowl up with water and just set them aside for now. And once that bacon is nice and crispy, you're gonna remove it from the pan. Make sure to leave all that bacon grease in there as well. Now set that heat to a medium to high, and now you're gonna add that chicken. You're gonna cook that chicken for about 3 minutes, and then you're going to flip it over for another 3 minutes, and then I always toss it around just to make sure everything is nice and crispy. Now remove your chicken from the pan. There should still be more bacon grease in there, so you're going to take those potatoes, drain those, and then make sure they are completely dry and add those to your pan. Season those up however you want. Cook those until nice and crispy. Then you're going to add your chicken and most of that bacon in, and then I'm topping mine with a little bit of cheese, covering it until melted. Once that is melted, you're going to top it with whatever's left of your bacon and then some green onions. You can eat it just like this if you want, but we are topping ours with whatever our favorite sauce is. Mine is this one. My kids added barbecue sauce and everybody loved it.